Hi guys, welcome back to Elizabeth Anna Reads. It's Friday, so it's time to tell you what I've been reading, although it hasn't been the greatest reading week. Super busy at work, um, so less reading time, and when I did have reading time, just less mental capacity for reading, I guess. But I decided if I didn't film, that would start a bad habit of not filming. So, we're going to keep it short and sweet, and yeah. So, unfortunately, I did not touch Anna Karenina at all this week. I just didn't have it in me, so I'm still at the same spot. But this coming week, we will for sure pick this up again. My main goal this week was to finish The Light of All That Falls by James Islington, which I was only about halfway through, so I had about 400 pages, and I did finish it, so go me. This is book 3 in a fantasy trilogy, so because it's book 3, I can't tell you a whole lot about it. But we follow primarily three main characters, and they all kind of have their own journey to take. There is some cool, time elements to this story, not necessarily time travel, but they play with time a little bit, which I always enjoy in stories, and it's a little bit unique in this world, but yeah, I enjoyed this series. It's not a new favorite, but I did enjoy it. I'm glad I read it. I'm glad I finished it, so I can move on to other things. And that, honestly, is all that I physically read this week. Because I was working more and therefore driving more, I decided to find something fun to listen to in the car while I was driving. I'm pretty picky with audiobooks, meaning that if there's a book I really want to read, I want to read it physically. So audiobooks is limited to either rereads or things I'm not actually that interested in. And in this case, because I didn't plan ahead, it was limited to what I could find that I could get right away from the library. And what I ended up with was The Selection by Kiera Cass. This is a YA series that has been very popular. It's a little old now. Old meaning I don't know, came out in 2014, 2015. But it's been very popular. It's pretty well loved. If you have missed this series, it is set in a dystopian future. So it's a future America, although it's not called America. And there is a caste system. So the royal family is ones, and then it moves down from there. However, the royal family, the prince, when he comes of age, traditionally marries a commoner because it keeps the morale up or whatever. So you end up with The Selection, which is when they take a girl from each province. So 35 girls are brought to the palace, and so it's basically The Bachelor. So it's like a combination of The Hunger Games and The Bachelor with a little bit of Mean Girls thrown in there. I really had no interest in reading the series, but again, I was looking for something that would be entertaining and not super deep. And I got that. This was not super deep. If you really love this series, I'm going to apologize right now because it's really bad, you guys. It's not well written at all. The plot is weak at best. The idea is kind of fun. I like the idea of the competition. I do love a commoner to royal story. I do really like that element of it. But the drama, I guess I should have expected that. But you have a plot that's not very well laid out. You have a dystopian world that's not explained very well. You have this competition going on within the palace, but there's also political unrest, which is also not explained. But there's rebels that come in and attack the palace every once in a while. We don't know what they want or why they're attacking the palace. We do know that there's 2 separate groups, but we don't really know anything about either one of them or what their goal is, why there's unrest. This is never really explained. The characters are obnoxious. Primarily, I think it's the indecisiveness of your main female character that really drives me nuts. I am an indecisive person, and I understand having a hard time making decisions. But when it's a constant, like, ooh, maybe I like the prince. Oh no, it's the boy I left back home. Oh no, it's the prince. Like on a daily basis, flip-flopping back and forth with really no motivation to flip-flop. Like she'll decide that she wants to be with the prince. And then the next day, she doesn't want to be with the prince because the prince does something that she doesn't like. And there's a lot of, not miscommunication, but a lot of lack of communication and a lot of jumping to conclusions. Like the prince will do something, and so she will make all these assumptions about things when really there's a super simple explanation that's super obvious and should be super obvious to her, but she can't see it and just gets frustrated and gets mad, and then he's mad, and yeah, so communication issues. But the thing, of all the things that just got to me, it was the incessant giggling. Everyone giggles on like girls don't just talk in these books. Everything they say is said in a giggle. Like, so, she said whatever, or she giggled whatever. And like, even the main character giggles all the time. And I just couldn't, the giggling wouldn't stop, and I couldn't handle it. But all that being said, I wanted something entertaining, and I was entertained. I don't think I was entertained for the right reasons, or the reasons the author intended. But if you follow me on Goodreads, you probably saw that I rated it 3 stars, just because I was entertained, not because it's good. Like, have you ever watched a movie that's so bad it's funny, and you want to keep watching it because it's hilarious, even though you're not laughing at it for the right reasons, or maybe you shouldn't be laughing at it at all, but it's just so bad that it's funny. That's how I felt about this book. And again, I'm really sorry if you love this book, but oh my goodness, it was bad. But also, I was so thoroughly entertained. Like, I was driving in my car and laughing out loud at spots, like characters are dying and I'm laughing out loud because of how badly the action is written. But again, so to be fair, I did enjoy the experience of listening to the books. I was entertained. There's probably, in all fairness, there would have been a point in my life when I would have loved this series. I'm just too old and cynical now, probably. But there would have been a time when I would have absolutely been obsessed with these books, probably. Did I continue on after the selection? Yes, I did. I did end up binging all 3 books, the selection, the elite, and the one. I listened to all 3 this week. They're all pretty short. Am I going to continue on with the rest of the series? No. Those 3 kind of stand alone. They make up a trilogy, and then there's other books that continue on after that, but I'm going to stop here. So, good books? No. Entertaining books? Yes. So if you're looking for something to laugh at, or just, trash to entertain you, go for it. Yeah, it kind of hit the spot this week, which, as I'm kind of ripping these books apart, it honestly did hit the spot this week of what I wanted and was, good decompression listening after work. So, yeah, that's it. That's what I read / listened to this week. So that's all I'm going to tell you about. So this coming week, I will pick up Anna Karenina again, and I'm excited. Now that I've finished the Lycanius trilogy, the James Islington series, that kind of opens some new possibilities, because I wanted to finish that series before I jumped into a different series. So we may pick up some more Brandon Sanderson now, or something else. So I'm excited to have that kind of off the TBR and done. So yeah, I will be back next week to tell you what I ended up reading, and I'm curious if you've read or listened to the selection or any of that series, what your thoughts are. And again, I apologize if I offended anyone. To each their own. But yeah, I'm curious what your thoughts are if you have read that series. But that is all I have for you today. Thank you for watching.